The morning sunlight poured gently through the white blinds of the small kitchen window. Sarah Collins was standing by the counter, stirring her second cup of coffee, already dressed in her comfortable joggers and a hoodie. Life had slowed down since her divorce 3 years ago. Her only son, Noah, had recently started college in a neighboring town, and though the house felt emptier, Sarah had started to find peace in solitude. That Saturday morning, she had planned a quiet day, some cleaning, catching up on reading, and maybe baking. Just as she reached for the radio to put on her favorite morning jazz station, the doorbell rang. A little confused, she wasn't expecting anyone. She walked to the door and opened it to see Kevin Dawson standing there with a sheepish grin and a toolbox in hand. Kevin had grown up next door and used to spend his childhood running in and out of her house, playing with Noah. Now 21, he had turned into a tall, well-built young man who worked as a part-time handyman while studying electrical engineering at the community college. Sarah remembered him fondly, always polite and respectful, even as a kid. "Hey, Miss Collins," he said. "I heard from my mom that your washing machine's been acting up. I'm doing some odd jobs this weekend. Figured I'd offer to help if you haven't had it fixed yet." Sarah blinked in surprise, pleasantly so. "Oh, Kevin, that's very sweet of you. Yes, it's been making a weird rumbling noise. I'd appreciate your help if you're sure it's no trouble." "Not at all," he said with a shrug and stepped inside with an easy familiarity. "Let me take a look." Kevin headed straight to the laundry room, and Sarah followed, placing her coffee cup on the hallway shelf. He crouched down, opened the panel on the side of the machine, and started inspecting it with a focused expression. Sarah leaned against the doorway, watching him work. She couldn't help but notice how much he had grown, not just in size but in demeanor. He was calm, confident, and so mature now, something that made her smile in admiration. "I think it's just the motor mount. Probably came loose," he said, looking up. "I can tighten it and run a test cycle to make sure it's not damaging the drum." She nodded. "Thank you, Kevin. I don't know what I'd do without all you Dawson men coming to my rescue." He chuckled, his eyes bright. "Well, I can't let a good neighbor suffer." As Kevin worked, Sarah returned to the kitchen to pour him a glass of lemonade. When she came back, she saw him wiping his hands on a cloth and looking around for a button to start the test cycle. She stepped in to help and pressed the start. The machine began its gentle spin, the rumbling sound noticeably gone. "Looks like that did it," Kevin said, standing up. "Should be good now." "Wow, that's impressive," Sarah said as she handed him the lemonade. "Let me pay you something for your time." "No way," he said, shaking his head. "It took like 10 minutes. I'm just glad I could help." "Well, I insist on at least feeding you. I was about to bake something. You still like lemon bars?" He grinned. "I love lemon bars. You made the best ones growing up." Sarah laughed and walked back to the kitchen. Kevin followed and took a seat on one of the high stools by the island. As she mixed the batter and cracked eggs, they talked about everything from Noah's new apartment to Kevin's classes. Time passed effortlessly between them. At one point, she reached down to grab a drop spoon, and Kevin quickly bent down to pick it up at the same time. Their hands touched, and there was a strange silence that followed. Sarah looked up at him, and for the first time, noticed something in his gaze: curiosity, respect, maybe admiration. She stood up quickly, brushing off the moment. "Thanks," she said, a bit awkwardly. "Getting old. I keep dropping things." Kevin chuckled, but there was a momentary shift in the air. Sarah busied herself with the oven, sliding in the tray of lemon bars. She could feel his eyes on her, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was gentle, almost like he was trying to understand something. "Sarah," he said after a few minutes, his tone softer. "Can I ask you something kind of personal?" She turned, a little surprised he used her first name. But she nodded. "Sure, what is it?" "Do you ever get lonely?" he asked, the question hanging between them. She wasn't expecting that. She glanced down at her hands, then at him. "Sometimes, yeah. It's different now. Quiet. I miss the noise, the company." "I get it," Kevin said, sipping his drink. "My mom said something similar the other day. I guess. I just wanted to say, if you ever need anything, not just for repairs, I don't mind stopping by more often." His sincerity touched her. She smiled. That means a lot, Kevin. Thank you. They shared a quiet moment. The timer dinged. Sarah moved to take the lemon bars out, and as she placed them on the counter, Kevin stood and helped clear the space. He started washing some dishes without being asked. She laughed gently. You're not just handy, you're helpful. I try, he said with a grin. Besides, I like being here. His words landed with a warmth Sarah hadn't felt in a long time. That afternoon, they shared lemon bars on the patio, talking and laughing like old friends. When he got up to leave, he paused at the door. Hey, I can come by next Saturday too if you need help with anything else? Sarah nodded. Actually, the porch light's been flickering. Could be the wiring. He smiled, a knowing look. I'll bring my tools. The week passed slowly. Sarah caught herself smiling more, humming tunes in the morning, even dressing a little more neatly. When Saturday came, Kevin showed up right on time. This time, he worked on the porch light, then helped her lift some old boxes from the attic. They shared lunch again, this time sandwiches and fresh lemonade. But something deeper had begun to grow. Sarah felt seen, appreciated, like someone had noticed her in a way she hadn't experienced in years. She began looking forward to his visits, not just for the help, but for the company, the conversation, and the way he made her laugh. One afternoon, as he helped her prune the rose bushes in the backyard, he looked up from his kneeling position and said, You've got a beautiful garden, but I think it's your smile that lights it up. Sarah's face flushed with a warmth she hadn't expected. She reached for another flower, trying to steady her voice. You say the sweetest things. It's not sweet, Kevin said. It's just the truth. As he stood, brushing dirt off his jeans, he stepped a little closer. I like being around you, Sarah. You're kind, smart, funny. And I think I just needed to tell you that. She met his gaze, heart thudding. There was no mistaking the honesty in his eyes. But she also knew the world would never understand something that looked like this. She looked down, swallowing. Kevin, she started, but he stopped her gently. You don't have to say anything, he said. I just needed you to know. I respect you too much to pretend I don't feel something. The wind rustled the leaves, and Sarah felt a tear sting her eye, not out of sadness, but out of being truly seen. In the weeks that followed, their friendship deepened. Kevin never overstepped. He showed up when she needed him, and they shared more of life together. Books, walks, small dinners. People noticed Kevin's frequent visits, but he always treated Sarah with respect and grace.